What's up, my fellow South African musicians? I know I usually share educational content on my channel, but this time I thought I should share an opinion about something that I have noticed amongst the music community and in particular in South Africa. Do be sure to head over to the comments and let me know what you think about this opinion before we head off. I generally feel that if you want to achieve something, particularly in the music industry, you kind of have to know, this is if you're an independent artist obviously, you kind of have to know what you are pitching to and how you're going to pitch up to them. For example, if I want to get my latest release on radio, I kind of have to know and listen to more radio. For example, the reason you want to do this is simply because if I am making hip hop, it is illogical. Wait, let me clarify. If I'm making non-Christian hip hop and submitting it to a Christian radio station, for example, I am totally missing the target market of the radio station. Another reason for this is if you're listening to a specific radio station, you know what type of music and feel they are after. Something I've learned because I'm trying to get on radio and I've been listening more to radio, particularly for this next release to find a suitable radio station, is if you're making a type of music, typically an urban type song like or more up-tempo hip-hop or something along those lines, radio leans towards those types of songs because typically on radio they do not want to depress the audience, and the advertising is usually to get the audience more excited about the product that is being spoken about. So it is important to match the release, the radio station, and the target audience of the radio station in order to fulfill and get onto your specific radio station. And this opinion does not really just hold for radio. It can also hold for advertising. For example, if I am making an album for advertising, so this is more on the sync side of things. If I'm making an album that is very depressing, it'll be very difficult to land that album for advertising because typically in adverts they're trying to make people more excited. But the same album may be very good for soapies, for example, where they have dramatic type of emotions, all of the sad, the happy, more of the sad than the happy. So that's why you kind of have to be listening to what is working currently and then matching the songs and the production that you're making to match the target and the objective of the release. This also goes for Spotify, for example. If you're trying to get on Spotify playlists, there are certain playlists that work better for your typical type of hip hop, or any genre in this case. So if you're making chrome, it's pointless to try find playlists on hip hop. If you're making lo-fi music, you would find lo-fi playlists. But it goes a little deeper than just that. If you want to get on Spotify playlists, for example, it is to your benefit to actually get a Spotify account and spend time on Spotify listening to what works on Spotify, how long the tracks typically are. And since Spotify automatically makes similar type of playlists, you can actually find people that own those playlists and directly pitch to them. Their email addresses, etc., are not necessarily on Spotify, but a lot of the time the people for those playlists will use the same name on Instagram, for example, or on Twitter, and then you can pitch directly. And this is a free way of getting your music onto playlists. This type of logic works all across the music field. You spend time in what you want to achieve with a release. If you want to get big on YouTube, spend time on YouTube. If you want to get big on Instagram, spend time on Instagram, Twitter, all the social media platforms, literally in all aspects of music. But I highly recommend, if you're trying to get something achieved in music, try your very best to spend time to understand the platform, if there is a platform, and what really works in that specific field in terms of music. If you want to know how many streams you need to make 1,000 Rand, watch this video.